Here's a side-by-side installed, looking at the back. 1990 Honda Accord seat on the right, stock 91 RT four-wheel drive on the left. It sits real nice. It's actually a lot higher. My shoulders actually ride about here where they should on a seat, as opposed to on the other one you're almost up above the shoulder area. I picked the 91 Accord seat because it does have these clips. The 91 Accord also has that automatic seat belt here. Unfortunately, I had to stay with the stock centerpiece because of the fact that my electronics and the connections underneath the seat don't jive with what came with this seat. But for what it's worth, god damn, it looks nice in there. It sits real good. I'll end up, I guess, spraying that or something, that center. We'll see. But yeah, there's the driver's seat on the right. The old passenger seat is on the left. Okay, I've already done my passenger seat. This is my 91 RT four-wheel drive, and that passenger seat in the front is from a 1990 Honda Accord, and I'm going to share how I got that done. I don't know if you can see it from here, but the mounting points for the seat itself, that would be the front one right next to the Sprite can, and bottom right, I'm sorry, from that CD is the right mounting point, but the center mounts a lot higher than the outside, and the offset front to back is different as well on the seats. So looking at the seats here, 91 RT four-wheel drive driver seat, 90 Honda Accord driver seat. These two are not interchangeable because of the fact that they have different plugs. I'm not going to go into the wiring and piss around with all that. I wanted to try and change their covers, but the covers don't line up. So it's going to be brown on that seat. But what needs to happen and what is going to be going on here with these on, this is now the driver's seat, and we're going to look at them. Bear with me. This is the driver's seat. That's the driver's door. E-brake is in the middle. Okay, so we're looking at the center side of these seats, the e-brake side. On this rack, what I've done and the way I'm going to do it is I've already drilled it out and it just fell off. But on the front, this is the front mounting point for that seat. Okay, I like this one. It has a good angle, and I'm going to take this one and I'm going to knock this one off. And what ends up happening is this guy actually sits right about here. Just to give you a perspective, about here. We're about that far off on this side, and the height is fine. So when you're on the inside, the height doesn't really need to be changed, but this bracket needs to come back almost an inch. Okay, and then I'm just going to take that guy and bolt him right in place, and that way my wiring will go straight onto my RT with no issues. And the safety belt side of things is good, and that's proper. So that's the inside of the seat, and that's really all the modification that needs to happen for the bracket to be able to bolt it into the car. Again, this is the inside of the driver's. So if you're on the passenger side, that would be the inside of the passenger. Everything will be a mirror image. Okay, here we are again with the driver's seat for the RT four-wheel drive. Already taken care of the inside, and that I welded on that bracket. It's not pretty, but it's on there, and it's about 14¼ inches from the center of this opening to the face of this guy here. That's what the body of the vehicle wants. So all I did was modify that one on the inside towards the e-brake, the center of the car. Okay, this rack here is on the outside of the car. I've taken all the plastic off. You know, your adjust angle of the seat here. And the big thing is these two 14mm bolts have to come out. On the old seat, I've already taken it apart. These two 14mm bolts and then this 12mm bolt, and you take this whole track out. And I'm using the whole track, and essentially what I'm going to do is this rear hole, I'm going to make that straight through, and it's going to go on. And this front bracket, I'm going to drill these guys out. These two little studs here, I'm going to drill those two out, move the bracket over, weld the bracket back on, and then tie it back together. If I'm not mistaken, actually, because of the fact that the way that the seat sits, and you can probably see it in this angle, but to get these bolt holes where they're at the same height, so if I were to line up the bottom and the top for height, you're actually on a weird angle and your seat won't sit square. And so to level it out like I did on the other side, because if you look at it this way, following this track, this bolt sits lower than this bolt here. And when you go to the old one, following the track, this bolt and this bolt are level, and so is the track. And so you're going to have to make up about a ½ inch on this end after moving that bracket over. And then I'm basically just going to reuse the whole track and bracket and everything from the RT 4-wheel drive. And this mount on the left will move to the right about a ½ inch, and it will actually float up about a ½ inch. I'll show that next. Okay, back again. Now let me get the tape measure out and we will show how. This is the old bracket. This is the old part where it would have tied onto the 91 RT 4-wheel drive seat. That second bolt hole from this side is still there. It's behind this. This is the bolt hole that I showed and I lined up before. And just to say, we're at like, well, 2 5/8, 2 almost 3/4 over here. And now, if you go to this, we're about the same, 2 5/8, 2 almost 3/4. Don't want to take the measurement here because you can see that it drops down. And so what I ended up doing, and I'm no master welder, I had my buddy, he's a master welder in the other videos. This is my welding. It's not perfect, but it will more than hold my fat ass. And so, done that, 3 sides, blocked it up, and now this is the factory track assembly for the outside driver door side of stuff. So now all I got to do is bolt this chair in and I'm in business, and I've got 2 new seats. So those are my new seats. 2 new seats, and they sit and feel real nice. Tracks work, adjusters work, seat belts work. I'm happy.